Hey guys, good evening. If you guys can hear me and if you guys have started joining in, just a quick hi or a hello in the chat will be really good. So, as always, we're gonna wait for a few more minutes to let people join in. Right, so meanwhile, guys, when we are waiting for people to join in, if you have any questions, anything which you want to talk about from previous lecture, from anywhere, we can always talk. Hi Mega, good evening. Thank you for joining in. Right, so I'm monitoring my chat, guys. Again, I welcome you all. Very good evening to all of you, whosoever has joined in. So, if you have any friends whom you are expecting to be part of this lecture, so please feel free to inform them that we have started. Right, so as always, we're gonna wait for a few more minutes to let people join in. Meanwhile, we are waiting. If you have any questions, guys, anywhere from your understanding point of view, from technical part to your any questions, guys, to your career, what exactly you want to do in future, or anything from the previous lecture also will be great. So we can take any question you want. So please utilize this time when we're waiting for people to join in. So today also, guys, we're gonna do some good exercises on dictionaries. So you remember, so we did one of the good question yesterday, so about the vaccination of the person, right? So we did that. Anybody has any question in it, please do let me know. If you want me to cover that again, we can do that. Okay, so maybe I can do a quick recap if you want that, or else we're gonna move to a next question. So next set of questions today. I've again prepared some good questions for you, so we're gonna do that. Right, so whatever questions I'm trying to put up here, guys, so it's more of what I am thinking. So if you have any questions from your side as well, you can let me know that. So we can try to solve it in our classes. But again, I try to prepare the lecture the best of my knowledge. Right, so any feedback, any comments which you want to give, so I'm all ears. So you can definitely give that. Hi Vishnu, good evening. Thank you for joining in. Guys, we're gonna wait for I think 1 more minute to let people join in. So as I've said, if you have any questions, anything which you want to talk about from anywhere regarding your career, regarding the questions, regarding the technical points, data science, you can just put up your questions and we can talk. Any questions, guys, from anywhere if you want to talk? Cool. So in that sense, if nobody has any questions, so let's quick start. Meanwhile, people will start joining in. So, and again, if you have any questions, guys, anywhere in between, also you can put up your questions in the chat. I'm trying to monitor it the best I can. Right. So if you see me mute for some time, it might be like I can see a network lag of almost 20 to 30 seconds. So yeah, if you see me mute, I am still around. So it's just a network lag, right? So yeah, and again, as I've said, so I'm monitoring the chat to the best I can. But again, if I miss out any comment, I'll try to come back to you as soon as possible. Okay, but again, do feel free to put up your questions, guys. I'm always monitoring the chat, so I'll try to answer all of your questions. That's something which is more important to me. Cool. So let's start. As you know, guys, my name is Arpit Jain, and I'm a senior data scientist myself. I have 8+ years of industry experience, guys, and I'm a motivational speaker as well. Right. So from the industry perspective, I have been into multiple domains. So initially, I was with a bank, and then I was in a cloud domain. Then I was in an automobile manufacturing sector. Then right now I'm in telecommunications. So yes, I've been into multiple industries, and the beauty of the data science job is that, right, because you're the data guy, you're actually immune to domains, right? So that brings a lot of that opens a lot of opportunity for you. I mean, the number of jobs, right, it opens tremendously for you, right? So that's the beauty of being a data science guy. Yeah, but with that you can understand that domain is not my priority here. But again, if suppose if there are two guys who are supposed to be hired for a particular position, right, and if one person and both of them have equally good technical knowledge, and one person has domain knowledge and other does not have, right, so definitely the guy who is having the domain knowledge will be preferred. You're getting it? There are other factors as well, like salary and all that, but again, in a nutshell, I would say that domain is of second priority. I won't say it's not important at all, but domain is of second priority compared to your technical skills. Okay, so that's the beauty of being in data science. And there are certain skill sets which is mandatory for you to be a data scientist. So Python is one of the top key skill sets which is mandatory for you to know. Okay, so and that is the reason why we have started with Python. Right, so and we have covered few things on Python. We have covered functions, lambda functions, something on pandas, and then lists, tuples. We are doing dictionaries. We're doing a lot of exercises on dictionaries. Today also we'll be doing that. Right, so and then during the course of our study, we are also expected to start with SQL in the next month. So we have a schedule today, so I'll be announcing it today in the class. So when we're going to do that, right? So SQL, PySpark, that's our agenda. So we're going to be doing side-by-side SQL as well in the classroom from the next month onwards. So I'll be preparing the content accordingly, and I'll be sharing with the dates, right? So we're going to do that. Cool. Any other suggestion, guys? Anything which you want me to cover, or anything which you feel, which is important for you? So just do let me know, right? So I still try to prepare the content to the best of my knowledge. But again, if you feel that you need to learn something which is very special and you are missing out on that, right? So always feel free to put up your comments, so we can take that. Right. So So thank you so much, Sandeep, for joining in. Good evening. Okay, so Megha has one question. I have started watching this series 2 days ago from the start, so I don't know what will happen in this lecture. So can I attend this lecture? Why not, Megha? Definitely. Right. So just do let me know that if you are a beginner in Python. So if you do not know anything, so what I'll do is maybe I'll just do a quick recap of what we're going to do today. Okay. So we are into dictionaries. Okay, so one of the data types of Python, and then we are solving few questions on dictionaries. So we did few one-odd question yesterday, and we're gonna solve one-odd question today. Okay, so again, I try to take it from very basics. Okay, I do not try to complicate my code. I always try to do from the simple logic. Okay, first we'll frame out the steps, and then we'll try to code it. Okay, that's how we have followed the structure in the classroom. Yeah, definitely. If you would go through the lectures from start, they'll help you out to understand what we are doing. But again, it does not mean that you cannot attend the lecture today. You can always attend a lecture from wherever we can. But again, I would request you to follow the other things as well. Right. So okay, that's great, Megha. That if you know dictionary, then we can just jumpstart to the questions directly today. So it should not be a problem. Anybody else? If anybody want me to just do a quick recap, I can again do that. Should not be a problem. Cool, guys. Great. So again, as you know, we have one special code for you, which is Python 10, which will give you 10% off on the Unacademy Pro subscription, guys. Right. So you have this code right in front of your screen. So as always, time for the quick promotion, guys. This is mandatory, so please bear with me for this. Right. So another question is, what is the developer subscription? What is an Unacademy Pro subscription? And why it is important, and most importantly, for whom it is important, right? So let's try to answer that. So it's basically for those who wants to become a software developer or have just become a software developer. So this is a platform, guys. So Unacademy is providing you a platform where you can watch multiple shows live. Okay, and when I say developer, in fact, data scientists are also a developer, right? So ultimately, they are developing one-odd models, one-odd use cases, right? So it's basically a Python development altogether. So we call them that as. Right, so this is, and again, as I've said, so this developer subscription is giving you an access to a platform where you can watch multiple shows live. Okay, and again, you know the importance of the live show. So basically, it gives you a flexibility of a two-way communication, right? So you can talk to the mentor or the person who's taking the lecture, right, or who's taking the show live. So it always eases out the things, and it always gives you a flexibility to talk to the person directly, so that you're not waiting for some time. You're just getting the things clear at the very same moment. So that's something which I believe is very, very good. Right, and some of the good shows which I can just highlight, which is coming live on the Unacademy Pro platform, is like one of the things are something called as the hiring updates. So hiring updates from the big companies, the startups, the IT companies, the mid-sized companies, tech companies, and all that. So which all companies are recruiting in upcoming positions, right? So this show will give you the access to all the upcoming hiring updates from all the possible companies, right? And definitely along with this update, you also will be given the eligibility criteria of that particular opening, right? So yes, so that is totally relatable, that because if there is any opening, right, so there has to be some set of requirements, prerequisite for that job, right? So your ideology should be to match your profile with the job requirement, right? So if it matches, then this is a job for you, right? So all the updates regarding your job, regarding the upcoming position, so which position they are going to hire, how many vacancies, what is the role, what is the expectation, what is the job description, right? Minimum years of experience, fresher, trainee, a lot of things. So all these details is what you'll be getting at a single place, so from the all possible organization. And the most important thing is timing, guys. So whenever there is any new opening, right, in any organization, right, so if you won't apply to this position, like when it is when they are hiring for this position, right, somebody else will apply and somebody else will get the job, right? So it's like because the company has to recruit someone, right? So they will not wait for you. They don't know you. You're not Tom Cruise, right? So they won't wait for you. So they'll hire someone or the other person, so to get the position filled, right? So the important thing to note is the timing. So this platform gonna give you the timing, the place where you can actually get an access to the applications, get an access to the position the moment it is getting released out. So you'll be getting the notification. So this is something which is very good. Right, so and again the timing which is gonna give you an upper edge from other applicants, right? So this is something which I believe a very good show to be part of. And again, there is a show something called as Code Chef, right? So how to approach Code Chef. So Code Chef is again one of the major barriers where which deter people to get into a data to get into a software development profile, right? So Code Chef, there are a lot of questions which we have received offline, like how to approach Code Chef, what are the do's and the don'ts, what questions to expect, what difficulty level, from where to practice, what questions. So there are a lot of things, right? So people have been asking about Code Chef. So there is actually one show which is going live right now, so I'll be talking about that in the subsequent slide. Right, but again, this show is the place for you guys, so you can get all the queries answered related to your Code Chef straight away. So you're not supposed to go here and there, and then this show, the mentor who is taking this show live, you can just talk to him, and then definitely he'll be solving the questions on Code Chef. So the hard questions, then he'll be solving live. But again, at the same time, you can get your queries responded by him directly. So he'll be going live, right? So two-way communication is definitely possible. Great, and then there is something called as a pre-placement talks, guys. So pre-placement talks where the HRs, the SPOCs, the recruiters, who are actually recruiting, the point of contact from the companies, they come and they talk to you about their companies, right? So they'll be talking about their company profile, company vision, what exactly they're looking for in a candidate, right? And at the same time, they'll also be talking about the hiring processes. So most of the time, it's like, people think that we have to get whatever we want, right? But again, it's also important to get connected with the organization which you're going to be part of, right? So when these people, the recruiters, they talk about the companies, right? So understand what is the company's vision. So that gives you a flexibility, that gives you a place where you can actually connect with that organization, right? And if you can connect, if if you're satisfied with your organization, right, you'll be happy, and when you're happy, you'll succeed. So that's the pure mantra of for a good career in IT domain. Trust me. So if you're happy, you can always succeed. If you're not happy, you're not satisfied, you'll never succeed. So this is a place where you can actually get connected with the organization. So you can understand what is the company's vision and how you can mutually benefit from the company's vision about the company and as well as your profile, right? So you can always talk to these people. And again, the hiring processes. So every organization has multiple processes, right? So a technical round, group discussion, online test, coding rounds, so multiple rounds, right? So every organization has their different processes, right? So it's always important to know what are going to be my hiring processes, right? So it's always good to avoid any last moment shockers, right? So if you're mentally prepared beforehand, that always gives you an upper hand when you're going for the interviews, right? So I'll always say that again. So one of the good shows. And again, we have something called as the most frequently asked questions. There is a show where the most frequently asked questions are discussed, okay? So be it a technical question, be it a behavioral question. So for the technical questions, we'll be getting the response straight away on the show. There are many most frequently asked questions. And then there is something called as the behavioral questions, right? So for that behavioral questions, based on your profile, you can get the responses tailor made. So you can have your bullet pointers handy, right? So when you go for the interviews, right, so you can always take those bullet pointers and prepare your own content, and then you can talk. So it's not like you're reading a paragraph in the interview, but again, you're having the content to talk to, right? So you can frame up your own sentences, but again, if you have something to talk to, that gives you an upper hand again. So very good show again, right? And then we have a live problem solving session. So live problem solving where you will be doing a real life project directly, okay? And along with you, there'll be a person working along with you. So the mentor will be going live with you. So you'll be doing the problem hands-on live, and at the same time, if you're getting stuck, so you'll always have an option to talk to the person who is working along with you for the same project, right? So it's like a live problem solving on a real life project. So that's again a very good show, guys. So you're not, I mean, this show is giving you flexibility where you are not actually waiting to, I mean, you're not, waiting while posting on something on forums and then, expecting a reply in 24 to 48 hours. It's like a ad hoc communication. So that's something which is very good again. Right, and also we have something called as a live journey from fellow coders from the big companies, right? So the FANG companies, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, so you know this, right? So all these big companies, they have some certain set of criteria, they have certain set of requirements from the people. So we do have a few mentors who are the who are the current employees from these organizations, right? So who are part of these organizations. So these are the people, your fellow coders. You can actually get a chance to interact with them, right? So you can talk to them directly, get your own networking done, and then understand what is the requirement, how you can fit into your to these organizations, right? So a lot of things which you can understand from these people and prepare yourself to be part of such organizations, right? And on top of all this, trust me, there is a very beautiful feature which is online mock interviews, guys. So most of the times you realize that you have done everything right, and it's almost everything is good, and still you're not getting selected, right? Because there might be few improvement areas which you do not know to improve on, right? So which you do not know where to improve, how to improve, right? So this place you will be actually going through an online mock interviews by the industry experts, and these experts will be taking your online mock interview and giving you the fair feedbacks for that, right? So these feedbacks will be having your improvement areas. So if you have your improvement areas right in front of you, so then you can improve. If you do not know what to improve on, you'll never improve, right? Because you do not know what to improve on, right? So this is a place, guys. You can again get benefited from the online mock interviews, and all of this is just for rupees 999 for about an year, guys, right? And with the code right in front of your screen, which is Python 10, you can get a 10% off for 899 on Unacademy Pro subscription. Cool. So again, one of the good show which is going live right now is the college projects review. Okay, and this show is taken care by Mr. Raj Vikramaditya, and he's going live every Friday night at 10 p.m. Okay, and it's basically for like if you want your college project to tick all the right boxes, right? And if you want to land yourself in a good internship or maybe a good job post your college, so this is a place for you guys, right? So you can get your college projects reviewed, and then if you have any questions anywhere, if you're stuck, any statement changes, any corrections in the technical points, or any documentation related help also. This is again because we have heard that there are a lot of documentation challenges in college projects, right? So fonts and all that. So we have seen that. right? So you can get that corrected. You can get that reviewed by Mr. Raj, and he is going live every Friday night at 10 p.m. And again, it's part of your developer subscription, guys. Right, so I was talking about this Code Chef show, which is going live every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. guys. Right, so he's taken care by Mr. Sai Avinash, and he is an SDE from Google, right? And he's a 7-star at Code Chef, right? So you can he's the right guy to answer all the questions related to Code Chef, right? So all the do's, don'ts, all the queries, whatever you have from the Code Chef related part. So you can get that answered by Mr. Sai, and he's going live every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Again, part of your developers subscription. Right, so again, official channel, guys, Telegram channel. So the link is there in the YouTube video description. So if you want, you can join this official Telegram channel. So this is a one-place stop for you guys. So if you have, you will get an update from all the upcoming live classes and whatever you want, right? So this is a one-place stop where you can get your queries responded. So I mean, you will not have to run here and there. You can just join this and be, you'll get the updates right there. Cool. Yes. So do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. So if you feel that you're getting benefited, so please do motivate us as well. So nobody's begging for that. But again, if you feel that you're getting motivated, if you're getting benefited by this, do press the like button. Cool. So we are on the content slide, guys. Right. So we have been discussing about dictionaries, right? And we were doing some exercises on dictionaries. Again, I'm going to repeat, guys, if anybody whosoever have joined today and who is very much beginner in Python or dictionaries, do let me know, right? I'm going to wait for 30-40 more seconds, and you can let me know that if you want me to take a quick recap. So I can just take a 10 minutes of quick recap and give you what dictionaries are, and then we can jump into exercises, because once I move into the exercises, then the point is I would expect you to work on that, right? At least not the full part of the code, but at least be interactive, right? Be try to support, right? So we can do that. Cool. Any questions, guys? I'm all ears, so we can do that. So meanwhile, let me jump to my dictionaries. Cool. Just a minute, I'm facing some technical challenges. Just a minute. Guys, if I'm audible, just do let me know. I'm facing some technical challenges here. I hope I'm audible, guys. Okay, great. Cool. So great. So thank you so much, Mega, for confirming. Yeah, I could see that. Yes. So I just came back. Great. Okay. So we have a few questions. Sandeep, thank you so much for joining in. Hello. Okay. And he says LinkedIn ID. So you can search my name, Arpit Jain. Okay. So Arpit Jain. I work for Ericsson. So Arpit Jain, Ericsson, IIT Madras. You should be able to find me there. Great. So, hey Pranav, good evening. So, okay, Tanushri says, sir, can you explain about default dictionaries and set default method? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, set default is again one of the functions in Tanushri. It's like a forceful addition of my key. So basically, it's like that. So, for example, I think there was one question yesterday, right? Where was it? Where was that question? Right, cool. So you remember, so somebody asked me this question. So what if I want to add, so I have these key and the values, right? So now if I zip it, so basically it's like dict of zip and then my keys and values, right? So I'll get dictionary here. So what if in this dictionary I want to add a new element, say C, okay? So or say for example salary, okay? And this salary I do not have any value, okay? So it's like I do not have any value, but I want to add into my dictionary. So we can use a set default function here, and then we can put salary, right? So not like this, so my bad. So let me check how exactly we can do this, right? So I'm gonna save it to say abcd, right? And then abcd dot set default, I'm gonna write say salary, and then abcd, right? So it's like a forceful addition of my key when I don't have any value, okay? So did you notice? So it just added a none value here, okay? So it's like a forceful addition of a key on my existing dictionary where I do not have a value. So it's like a forceful addition of my key. So that's one of the way I know it. So that's where we use default. So I mean, when someone asked me a question yesterday, right? So if we have basically an extra key or where I do not have a value, right? So I have a missing value in terms of when I have a particular key there, right? So that is where it is used. So we can use set default for a forceful addition of another key on top of my existing dictionary. So that's where we use it. Cool. Any more questions, guys? Please feel free to put up so we can take it. Cool. So and again, I hope everybody is fine with the basics of dictionary, right? So we can jump into the next question. So we did this, I think, yeah. So we did this one, right? So this vaccination question yesterday. So I think everybody is fine with this logic, right? So nobody has any question in this. I'm expecting that. Cool. So let's do one more question. So right. Cool, guys. So now you have this question right in front of your screen, okay? So I have a list of dictionaries. So list of dictionaries, right? So here I have say 5 different dictionaries in my list, okay? So 5 different dictionaries in my list. So these different dictionaries are basically having certain key and the value pairs, right? So you can see this class, ID, name, and marks. Right, so I have multiple different dictionaries as part of my list. So in this list, I have 5 different dictionaries, right? So there are certain class 1s and class 2s and all that, right? So basically a description of how the different students are there in my different classes, right? So their IDs, name, and marks. So now I want a class summary of my overall population, right? So in this class summary, I want it like this. So suppose, so for the class 1, I have 3 dictionaries, right? So belonging to class 1. So I want the class 1 people, and then I want a new element, total students. So total students, I mean, basically the count of my individual IDs here. Maybe one of the things which we can do, right? So count of my different elements. So that's my total number of students. And the average marks. So average marks basically, so I have 90, 91 and 92. So the average of these, so it's like 91, right? And then respectively for class 2. So for how many numbers of class it's there, so it should be populating it, right? So I want the class summary to be like this. So I want for individual classes. Cool, guys? So just put up your thoughts. Okay, so we will not try to will not jump into the codes straight away. Okay, so we'll not jump into the codes straight away, right? So let's try to give it a thought. Okay, so just put up your thoughts in plain English sentences also is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for that. If you have anything, guys, if you have anything, so we can always do that. Again, I think I'm facing some technical challenges. I hope I'm audible. Okay, meanwhile, I think we have one question here. Tanushri, okay. So Tanushri says, and default dictionary. Okay. So default dictionary, basically you're saying from collection. So this default dictionary which we have from the library collections, this is what you're talking about? I mean, if you're talking about that collection wala import from default dictionary, so I think that is used for just to iterate over your elements. And I mean, if you want to print, and again, it's a forceful print as far as I know. I have never used it as a default dictionary. But again, if you're talking about, I remember it's from another package collections. So this collections has something called as default dictionary. So that is for a forceful print of my keys and the values. But again, I mean, I have, to be honest, not used this as a default. I have never got a chance to use this. Okay, cool guys. Pranav says, and the dictionary in a set such that we can have unique classes. Yes, exactly. So yes, so dictionary, basically here we want, so here you can see this, right? So I have a list of my elements here. So list is having two sets of dictionaries, right? So and then first dictionary I'm going to have the class 1 and then the corresponding numbers, and then the class 2 which is unique class 2, and then I'm going to do that, right? Cool. Abhishek says iterate over dict one by one. Yeah. Yes, and then iterate over dict one by one, and then what to do over that. So it's a very plain, simple statement, Abhishek. Try to write something like a plain English sentences. Okay, so like what all you want to do. So I'll put up the steps here. So what I am thinking right now. Okay, and if you are agreeing with my points, so definitely we're gonna do that. Okay, so again, so. Cool. So now I'm going to write some steps here. Okay. So and then based on these steps, we're going to do the codes. Okay. So one thing we have understood is we have to iterate over my elements. So elements is basically my individual, right? So that is something which is mandatory, right? So I have to do it because I have to find out the elements here, right? So now in this individual dictionaries, my first check would be to find out what class it is, right? So this should be my first check because my first element is my class. So based on the class itself, I want to run the things, right? So somehow I have to put up some check on class, right? So that is something which I want. Cool. So let me put in the markdown, right? So cool. So and again, what I want. Abhi, I have the class here. Now on this class, so I have to group by into some classes. So I won't use the keyword group by, but again I have to take a group of the class ones and then count the things, right? So based on check, I want to add student and marks. Somehow, so we're going to do that. We're going to check how we're going to do that. So that is something, right? So and likewise it should be valid for both of my classes, right? So major issue is this. So how we can check on the classes. So now for this classes, what can we do? So maybe some say equal to operand or not equal to operand. So we have seen this yesterday, right? So some equal to or some not equal to operand. So now we can either give a hard coded value, say 1 or 2. So we know we are able to see this. So I mean that does not look nice. So we'll try to put up some maybe initial value. So we have already told you we have talked about this, right? So whenever we have some conditions, so we can initiate some value in the very beginning and we can try to loop it over that, right? So maybe we can define a dummy class, right, as say for example 0, right? And then we can try to compare if this is not equal to this, so it'll run into a particular loop, and then at the end of the loop, so we can try to replace this dummy class to existing class, right? And then if this is true, then if this is true, because if the class is 1, it should not be repeating it again. So if the class is 2, it should start fresh, right? So for the class 1, it should be adding to the same list, same dictionary, or if the class is 2, it should be starting fresh. So that is the reason why I have to replace this dummy with the existing class. So that's how it should be, passing the check. Any questions in this logic, right? Okay, so we have few more comments here. Okay, so Tanshi says create two lists for ID, name, marks, and then create a dictionary mapping name and add marks. Yes, we can do that. Two different dictionaries with conditions. Absolutely great. Yes, so I mean the logics are absolutely fine, guys. No issues in that. Now we have few set of steps with us, right? Now we know this. So let's try to code it in that way. So I'm see again my whole understanding here is whatever I'm trying to solve here, right? I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. I'm trying to solve it with the base knowledge. Okay, I'm not trying to add any additional functions as of now. I'll give you the advanced answer also later, maybe through some other functionality. But again, first I'll try to solve it with the basic concept, whatever we know. Okay, so then we're gonna jump to some other thing. Okay, तो सबसे पहले क्या है, हमें क्लास समरी बनाना है. तो क्लास समरी में क्या है, क्लास समरी बेसिकली लिस्ट है, राइट. सो बाय डिफॉल्ट हमें यहाँ पर क्लास समरी को एक एम्प्टी लिस्ट को डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. अब इसके ऊपर, अब लिस्ट के ऊपर आपको पता है एक बहुत अच्छा फंक्शनैलिटी है अपेंड, है ना. हमने एक एम्प्टी लिस्ट डिफाइन कर दी, तो लूप के अंदर जो भी होगा हम वी कैन डू अपेंड इन लूप, राइट, ऑन टॉप ऑफ माई लिस्ट. सो वी कैन ऑलवेज डू दैट, राइट. सो आपको पता है अपेंड हम कर सकते हैं लूप के अंदर. सो बेसिकली हम अपेंड में क्या करेंगे, हम इंडिविजुअल डिक्शनरीज बनाएंगे एंड देन उसको इंडिविजुअली एलिमेंट पे हम अपेंड करते चले जाएंगे. वी कैन डू दैट. कोई इश्यू है इसमें किसी को भी तो प्लीज स्टॉप मी, ठीक है. अभी हम एक चीज ये करते हैं. अब जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कंडीशन में करने के लिए एक हम डमी क्लास बनाते हैं. सो CLS बना देते हैं, ठीक है. सो डमी क्लास बनाया मैंने, इसको एक 0 कर देते हैं. अब हम क्या करेंगे, सिंपल सा स्टेप है फॉर डी इन माई लिस्ट, ठीक है. अभी मैं पहले सिंपल प्रिंट करके आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ उसके अंदर प्रिंट में क्या आता है मेरे पास. प्रिंट ऑफ अगर मैं डी करूंगा तो क्या आएगा, मेरे पास इंडिविजुअल डिक्शनरीज आएंगी, राइट. अब इस इंडिविजुअल डिक्शनरीज के ऊपर मुझे बेसिकली ये क्लास को फिगर आउट करना है, राइट. सो मेरा कंडीशन इस क्लास के ऊपर होना चाहिए, करेक्ट. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव रिटन हियर. So we have to check something on my class, right? So this is my first step. So because class के ऊपर पे ही हम looping करेंगे, so definitely I have to write something like this. So if d of class, so no, c is caps. So d of class. So अगर मैं इसको लूप में करना है मुझे, है ना. So अगर मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ, अगर मैं या तो सिंपल इक्वल टू 1 भी कर सकता हूँ, तो मेरे को मल्टीपल लूपिंग लिखना पड़ेगा 1 के लिए, 2 के लिए, 3 के लिए, जितने भी मेरे पास क्लास होंगे, राइट. तो इसका सिंपल वे क्या है कि मैं कुछ इसको मोर जेनरिक बना सकता हूँ. आई कैन मेक इट मोर जेनरिक एंड यूजिंग द सिंपल लॉजिक. सो इफ दिस इज नॉट इक्वल टू माई डमी क्लास, ठीक है. सो if this is not equal to my dummy class basically which is 0, so if this statement will be true, right. So for the first of my dictionary, correct. So it will go into my if condition. So मैं इसका else भी कुछ लिखूंगा. So let's talk about else also, ठीक है. We'll talk about else also, but again, so basically what I'm saying is if this condition is true, it will be going inside this my if loop, right. So अब मेरे को इसके अंदर I have to create my first set, right. So first element मेरे को बनाना है यहाँ पे. तो फर्स्ट एलिमेंट क्या हम कर सकते हैं, अब इसको मेरे को अपेंड करना पड़ेगा, राइट. सो डेफिनेटली अब मैं यहाँ पे एक अपेंड करूंगा, क्लास समरी डॉट अपेंड. अपेंड के अंदर मुझे क्या करना है, अपेंड के अंदर मुझे एक डिक्शनरी को अपेंड करना है, करेक्ट. इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है, बिकॉज हमें यहाँ पे डिक्शनरीज बनानी है, राइट. हमें डिक्शनरीज बनानी है यहाँ पे. तो अब इसमें डिक्शनरी में हम क्या अपेंड कर सकते हैं, सिंपल हम सेम चीज़ अपेंड कर देते हैं. सो वी कैन प्रिपेयर अ क्लास. क्लास में बेसिकली मेरा क्या होगा, क्लास में मेरा हो जाएगा डी ऑफ क्लास, करेक्ट. सो बिकॉज डी ऑफ क्लास ही जो है मेरा वो क्लास का वैल्यू होना चाहिए यहाँ पे, करेक्ट. सो डी ऑफ क्लास इज 1 हियर. फॉर आई एम just think logically here, guys, what I'm trying to do. Okay, so first case में I have d of class is equal to 1. So I'm creating the first element. So first element should be d of my class, right. So which is 1 here. So I've put it like this. So class is nothing but my d of class. Okay, and then I have what? I have total students. So I'm going to create a new element here. So which is say so total students, okay. इसको हम अभी काम करते हैं 1 कर देते हैं, बिकॉज अगेन इसको हमें लूप में करना है, राइट. सो बेसिकली इसमें भी वैल्यू को ऐड करना होगा, राइट. सो +1 होगा हमारा जब भी लूप में ऐड होगा. सो जब भी हम प्लस और जब भी हम एडिशन वाला कोई क्वेश्चन करते हैं इन द लूप, वी ऑलवेज इनिशिएट विथ 1. यू रिमेंबर दैट, राइट. सो 1 और ईदर 0 डिपेंडिंग ऑन द लॉजिक. So that's how we initiate it. So अभी मैं एक काम करता हूँ, मैं यहाँ पे 1 से initiate कर देता हूँ इसको, and then on top of 1, because I want to calculate the number of students, right? So basically even this is my 1 student, right? So I cannot initiate with 0, I have to initiate with 1, right? So that's my first element, and for every loop I'll keep on adding plus 1 to it. I'll write the else condition in that, right? And then अभी क्या करते हैं, we write this average marks. Okay, so first loop में अब देखो, अब मेरे पास यहाँ पे average marks में क्या है, so in this loop we'll having only the first element, right? मेरे पास और तो कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे, सिर्फ I'll just have the first element, so I cannot do a mean here. If I do a mean of this, so can you take a mean of 90? It'll give an error because you cannot do a mean of a single value, right? So I mean technically you cannot do a mean of a single value, so I have to first add this marks and then do a average on top of this, because it is running on a loop. So loop में क्या है, it is taking this first element, right? And if I have to do average, so for this average I need all of these 3 values, 90, 91 and 2, right? So I do not have it right now, correct? So I'm just gonna do one thing, so I'm just gonna do what, so say d of marks. कोई doubt है इसमें? So what I've done is, for the first element I have just added these things, okay? So I've just initiated like this. So for the first element I have the value of 1 here, total students will be 1, and the average marks will be 90 for now, okay? So this is how I have started it. इसमें किसी को कोई issue है guys? I'm coming back to chat. Right, so I do not see any questions in the chat. Right, so again, if you have any questions guys, do stop me anywhere. So while I'm coding, so I'm not monitoring the chat while I'm coding, so but again I stop and I'll go back to the chat again. Cool. So this is my first condition, right? So I have, now when I'm saying this, so this is true, so basically when this is true, this first element will be appended likewise, right? Correct. So now for the so now as I've said, so once this is true, I do not want a new class to be created, a new element to be created, right? If I keep on appending, it'll keep on adding the different elements, right? So in this case, I do not want multiple class ones. I just want a single class one. So I cannot have an append here, right? And now for this class one, I want something in the else condition where I'll not be appending, I'll be just adding the numbers, right? You understanding this point? I don't want an append here. Now I want an addition on my numbers of my students and also on my marks, correct? So I don't want to append now because append is already done. So append is only needed for a unique class, correct? So now in this case, what I can do is I can just replace class with my d of class. Okay, so now if I do that, so now this CLS has been converted into 1, right? So now this will, now for the next loop where I have the value of 1, this will negate, right? So this will not go inside this. This will not go inside this. Now this will go under else, right? अब हम else में क्या करेंगे? Else में we can add the values. This is what we want, right? So we can add. So now because ultimately it's a dictionary, ultimately it's a list, right? So we are appending onto the list. So we can add the indexing. So now we have to first index the particular value, right? So first we have to index, right? So अभी हमारा यहाँ पर क्या है? This is my first element, right? This is my first element of my list. So अगर आपको first element को index करना होता है तो आप क्या करते हो? आप 0 देते हो, right? So you have to index class summary of 0, right? अब अगर आपको first element को access करना पड़ेगा तो आप class summary of 0 दोगे to access, and then on this 0 it will give you this dictionary, right? And now in this dictionary, if you want to add something on total students, then you have to add again something like this. Correct? This is how we access it. We have already seen it, guys. So we have already seen it in this Mr. Lawrence problem, right? So under this dictionary, under this list, first I have to go to cars, which is a list, and then on this list I can do any indexing which is possible, right? You know this. So now if I have to access something on total students, which is a dictionary under my list, so first I have to give the index of my list, right? So then only I can access total students. So now how we can give this indexing? And this has to be dynamic, right? So because the class 2 will be my second element. So for second element would be what? 1. So I have to give class summary of 1, right? So एक simple सा logic बैठ रहा है यहाँ पे. So आप क्लास अगर यहाँ पे 1 है तो मुझे इंडेक्स 0 देना है और क्लास 2 है तो मुझे इंडेक्स 1 देना है. तो इट्स लाइक n-1 का कुछ लॉजिक बैठ रहा है यहाँ पे. किसी को कुछ डाउट है यहाँ पे? तो मैं कैसे एक लॉजिक लिख सकता हूँ यहाँ पे? क्लास समरी ऑफ d ऑफ व्हाट डी ऑफ क्लास -1। अगर मैं ये करूंगा तो मेरे को क्या मिलेगा, 1 -1 मिलेगा यहाँ पे, 1 -1 0 हो जाएगा, तो ये मेरे को अल्टीमेटली 0 दे देगा यहाँ पे। कोई डाउट है? आई एम स्टिल ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व विद द वेरी बेसिक लॉजिक, ओके, आई एम नॉट एडिंग एनी एडिशनल फंक्शनैलिटी, आई एम ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व विद द वेरी बेसिक लॉजिक टू बिकॉज अगर आप बेसिक से सॉल्व कर पाओगे ना, फिर तो फंक्शन से करना ऑलवेज ईजी है। ठीक है, अगर किसी को कोई भी डाउट होगा प्लीज स्टॉप मी। सो मैं अभी यहाँ पे सिर्फ इंडेक्सिंग कर रहा हूँ, सो आई एम राइटिंग दिस लॉजिक डी ऑफ क्लास -1, सो ये मेरे को 0 दे देगा यहाँ पे। नाउ इन दिस आई वांट व्हाट, टोटल स्टूडेंट्स, है ना, जो टोटल स्टूडेंट्स मैंने यहाँ पर ऐड किया है, इस टोटल स्टूडेंट्स में आई वांट टू ऐड 1। कोई डाउट है इसमें किसी को भी? ये तो सिंपल है। अब सिमिलरली मुझे एक और करना पड़ेगा, आई वांट क्लास सेम, इंडेक्सिंग तो 0 ही रहेगी मेरे यहाँ पे, और अब यहाँ पे मेरे को एवरेज मार्क्स में भी, एवरेज मार्क्स में क्या करना है गाइस, एवरेज मार्क्स में 1 ऐड नहीं कर सकता, एवरेज मार्क्स में मेरे को अगेन इस मार्क्स के वैल्यू को ही ऐड करना है, राइट। सो आई हैव टू ऐड मार्क्स हियर, करेक्ट। एनी क्वेश्चंस हियर? सो नाउ इस एवरेज मार्क्स में मैं क्या करते चले जा रहा हूं, मेरे को सिंपल ये मार्क्स ऐड होके मिल रहा है, करेक्ट। अभी आई थिंक दिस लॉजिक इज फाइन, राइट। इस लॉजिक में किसी को भी कोई डाउट है? देखो अब अगेन लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट वन बाय वन। सो अभी यहां तक तो कोई इशू नहीं है, ये 3 तो मेरे सॉल्व हो जाएंगे, करेक्ट, बिकॉज फर्स्ट लूप में क्या होगा, इट विल गो इनसाइड दिस इफ कंडीशन, सो इट विल क्रिएट अ न्यू एलिमेंट अपेंड, सो इट विल क्रिएट दिस, right, and now I'll replace this 1 with 0, I mean 0 with 1, right. So for the next loop when I have the class value of 1, this will not be true, right, it will go under else, right. And this else, what I'm doing, I'm just doing an indexing here, indexing of total students may it is adding 1, and then average marks may it is adding the marks, right. It's the same logic. Again for 2 what will happen, so for this 2 here, so now d of class is 2 here, 2 is not equal to CLS, CLS क्या था मेरे पास 1 था, right. So this 2 is not equal to 1, so in this case it will go inside this, so it will now create a new element, right. So it will now append the second element where this class will be my d of class, which is 2 now, right, and again it will initiate with this 1, and then average marks will be this 82 for this, right. This is how it will initiate, and again for this particular element here, because this now CLS will become 2 here, right. So for the 5th element this will become false, it will go under else. So else में again indexing क्या करेगा यहाँ पे, DL of d of class is 2 here, right. So 2 minus 1 that is 1. So basically अब मेरा second element था वो ये था, right. So class summary of 1 जब मैं करूँगा तो I'll be inside the second element, right. So the second element में मेरे पास total students है, so total students is this, I'm adding +1 in this, so this is how it is. So I think this logic is fine, right. कोई इशू है इसमें किसी को? अभी एक प्रॉब्लम इसमें क्या, हमने एवरेज मार्क्स नहीं निकाला, हमने अभी सम ऑफ मार्क्स निकाला है, राइट। अभी एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं इसमें क्या निकल के आ रहा है मेरे पास। परफेक्ट। इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट है? ये मेरे को अभी टोटल स्टूडेंट्स, अभी एवरेज मार्क्स की जगह पे सम ऑफ मार्क्स आ रहा है, वी गोना करेक्ट दैट, बट अगेन अभी इस यहां तक किसी को कोई डाउट है? एनीबडी हैज एनी क्वेश्चंस हियर? Okay, we have one comment, I think Abdul Samad, thank you so much यार, good work, okay, ठीक है, अगर आपको समझ में आ रहा है, I think then I'm doing the good work, great, thank you so much Sandeep for confirming. I think ये इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए यार, because we have already solved one question yesterday also similarly, right, same logic पे हमने काम किया था, but थोड़ा सा different है यहाँ पे, मैंने यहाँ पे indexing का थोड़ा ट्रिक लगाया है यहाँ पे, है ना, ये थोड़ा clumsy है ये कोड, I understand it's a little clumsy, but again I tried to stick with the very basics, okay, I have not tried to add any functionality here, we can still solve this question in n number of ways, okay, but I tried to use the very simple logic which we have learned so far, okay, इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं हो, अगर किसी को कोई डाउट हो प्लीज स्टॉप मी, ओके। मैंने सिंपल क्या करा, मैंने सेम लॉजिक्स को फॉलो किया, करेक्ट, मैंने एक डमी क्लास डिफाइन किया 0, एंड देन मैंने चेक लगाई है, एंड चेक के ऊपर अपेंड करा है इफ द चेक इज फाइन, राइट, बिकॉज आई वांट द यूनिक क्लास नंबर्स, करेक्ट। सो दिस इज फाइन गाइस, कूल। अब यहां पे मेरे पास एक लास्ट इशू क्या बच जाता है, आई वांटेड द क्लास समरी जहां पे एवरेज मार्क्स हो, सम ऑफ मार्क्स ना हो, करेक्ट। तो ये तो मेरा भी रॉन्ग है, ये तो सम आ रहा है। अब इस सम के ऊपर क्या कर सकते हैं, किसी को कोई आइडिया है? एनीबडी वांट्स टू से एनीथिंग टू दिस? Meanwhile, you guys want to try? Even let me also try this. एक बार हम लोग करते हैं इसको. अब मेरे पास class summary है, which is again a list here, right? So always remember, this is a list of my dictionaries, right? So now if I do for say L in class summary, and then I'm gonna print L, right? So it'll give me individual elements. Now this L is a dictionary now, correct? So although class summary was a list, but if I bring out any single element, so that is a dictionary. So अब dictionary के element को कैसे access करते हो? Simple है ना? So L of अगर मैं print करता हूँ, print of L of say average marks को print करता हूँ, है ना? So it'll keep on printing the average marks. मतलब जो अभी तो सम है बस it'll printing me that value, right? So because this is how we access the dictionary keys, right? The value को करने के लिए मुझे dictionary का key देना पड़ता है. That's how we access, right? So same logic है. अब हमें इसको append करना है, इसको हमें correct करना है, right? So इसको क्या कर सकते हैं? इसको ये लिख सकते हैं. This divide by L of total students. Simple है ना? कर सकते हैं ना इसको. और आपको पता है ये तो डिक्शनरी की प्रॉपर्टी होती है, इट्स म्यूटेबल. वी कैन ऑल्टर द एग्जिस्टिंग वैल्यूज, वी कैन डू दैट. सो फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर डिक्शनरी इट रिप्लेस द एवरेज मार्क्स विद द सम ऑफ मार्क्स बाय टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. एवरेज का ही डेफिनेशन होता है ना. अगर इसको सिंपल तरीके से भी क्या लिख सकते हो आप जैसे कि ये तो एक तरीका हुआ लिखने का, एक इसका सिंपल, जैसे आप प्लस इक्वल टू भी करते हो ना, वैसे भी लिख सकते हो इसको. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल एल ऑफ एवरेज मार्क्स is what? Divide equal to my L of total students. ठीक है, ये भी सेम स्टेटमेंट है. ये जो ऊपर लिखा हुआ है और जो नीचे लिखा हुआ है दोनों सेम है गाइस. डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज, दे बोथ आर सेम. ओके, या तो आप इसको इक्वल टू करके फिर दोबारा लिख के डिवाइड भी करो, या फिर डिवाइड बाई इक्वल टू भी करोगे तो सेम मीनिंग होता है. जैसे आप यहाँ पे प्लस इक्वल टू करते हो, ये प्लस इक्वल टू करा ना, ये सेम चीज़ होता है. ठीक है, आई थिंक इसमें तो किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं होगा, बट आई हैव जस्ट रिटन इट डाउन जस्ट टू बी श्योर. करेक्ट. अब इसको रन करते हैं. अब ये मेरा रन हो गया. अब हम क्लास समरी चेक करते हैं. आ गया गाइस? ठीक हो गया ये? दिस इज व्हाट वी वांटेड, राइट? या दिस इज व्हाट वी वांटेड. कूल, एग्जैक्टली करेक्ट आ गया हमारा आउटपुट. इसमें किसी को भी डाउट है, कोई भी इशू है किसी को भी? Yeah, thank you Abhishek. Yeah, I just noticed your chat. Yes, absolutely. So we have to divide it into my loop of the class summary, which is a list, and उसमें एक individual dictionaries थी तो मैंने वही कर दिया. Loop इसमें second loop चला दिया on top of my class dictionary. Any issues guys? Anywhere in this question? कोई भी issue है guys इसमें? कोई भी issue है? Any issues anywhere in this? In fact, I'll show it to you another way of solving this. I'll try to solve it using pandas. Pandas में हमने बहुत सारे functionalities पढ़े हैं ना, so we'll do it. I'll try to solve it in a 1 or 2 line of question, 1 or 2 line in pandas. I'll do that. Okay? Pandas में बहुत सिंपली तरीके से solve हो जाएगा ये. मैं आपको I'll do that. I mean pandas में हमने actually group by cover नहीं करा है, so मैंने group by बताया नहीं आपको. Group by से भी कर सकते हैं. Group by is a very good functionality in pandas, जहाँ पे वो individual elements का group ले लेता है, and then you can aggregate on top of it. Okay, so that we have a functionality available. But again, I always say that never rely on functions. Okay, if you can write the code based on your simple logic, that trust me, you are building your own conceptual understanding. Okay, so that's how you will benefit. Okay, and that's your objective. That's how your objective should be. Okay, so function से तो हमेशा easy होता है प्रोग्राम, but आपको हमेशा function पता नहीं होते हैं, right? अगर आप बेस से कर पाओगे तो that's what I believe it's more useful to you. ठीक है? Again, any question guys? Do feel free to put up your question on chat. I'm trying to monitor it the best I can. Cool. Let me try to solve it using say pandas. ठीक है, अब इसको हम सेम क्वेश्चन को एक बार रिपीट कर लेता हूँ. I'll try to solve it using pandas. ठीक है, सेम लिस्ट है मेरे पास. सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे, इसको ना, इस लिस्ट को अगर मुझे डेटा फ्रेम में कन्वर्ट करना है तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम सिंपल कर सकते हैं. पहले तो हम इंपोर्ट कर लेते हैं. इंपोर्ट pandas as pd. numpy भी कर लेते हैं. numpy भी काम आएगा. हमें वो मीन निकालना है ना, तो numpy भी कर लेते हैं. numpy as np. ठीक है, कूल. सो ये दो फंक्शनैलिटी कर लिया हमने, इंपोर्ट कर लिए. अब हम सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे, हम सबसे पहले एक डेटा फ्रेम बना लेते हैं, ठीक है। डेटा फ्रेम कैसे बनाएंगे, डेटा फ्रेम सिंपल पीरी डॉट डेटा फ्रेम। आपको मैंने बताया था कि इन द डेटा फ्रेम आई कैन पास द लिस्ट ऑफ डिक्शनरीज। हमने जब पैंडास पढ़ा था, राइट, रिमेंबर आई टोल्ड यू दिस, टू क्रिएट अ डेटा फ्रेम आई कैन पास द लिस्ट ऑफ डिक्शनरीज एंड इंडिविजुअल कीज मेरे कॉलम्स बन जाएंगे एंड वैल्यूज मेरे रोज बन जाएंगे। सिंपल, कुछ नहीं करना है मुझे यहाँ पे। सिंपल में अगर मैं माई लिस्ट एज इट इज़ भी पास करूँगा ना, तो ये मेरे को डेटा फ्रेम रिटर्न कर देगा फॉर श्योर, राइट, ग्रेट। सो डेटा फ्रेम बनकर आ गया। ये इंडिविजुअल 5 तो डिक्शनरीज थी मेरे पास, ये 5 रोज में आ गई, है ना, वैल्यूज़ के साथ, करेक्ट। डेटा फ्रेम बन गया मेरे पास। अब मेरे को क्या चाहिए, मेरे को सबसे पहले तो इंडिविजुअल क्लासेस चाहिए, राइट। आई वांट द इंडिविजुअल क्लासेस बेस्ड ऑन विच आई वांट टू टेक द एग्रीगेशंस ऑन। एग्रीगेशंस क्या है, बेसिकली मार्क्स का मेरा आई मीन नंबर काउंट है बेसिकली, राइट। सो काउंट ऑफ माई लेंथ ऑफ रोज और एन यूनिक, कुछ भी कर सकते हो आप, राइट। एन यूनिक भी एक फंक्शनैलिटी होता है, राइट, यू रिमेंबर, आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ आई हैव टोल्ड यू दिस। सो यूनिक एंड एन यूनिक, सो एन यूनिक बेसिकली काउंट द नंबर ऑफ यूनिक elements in my that particular group. So n unique is also a functionality in pandas, ठीक है। सो अभी सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे, df डॉट ग्रुप बाई करेंगे इसको, ठीक है। सो अगेन guys, there are few functions which I have not told you, so that is the reason why I was not trying to tell you this, but again you should be knowing this easy way also, ठीक है। सो df डॉट ग्रुप बाई अगर मैं क्लास करूंगा, सो बेसिकली दिस विल बी वन ग्रुप, राइट। सो दिस विल बी वन ग्रुप. So now on this group I want some aggregation, so we can add an aggregation functionality here, right. So in this aggregation functionality I can add a lot of columns. So basically मुझे क्या क्या चाहिए, मुझे जो ID है, ID के ऊपर मैं क्या कर लेता हूँ, मैं n unique चला देता हूँ, right. So n unique function चलाऊँगा मैं ID के ऊपर, and then मैं क्या करूँगा, marks column के ऊपर मैं क्या करूँगा, np dot mean चलाऊँगा, right. So np dot mean मुझे चलाना है, इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है गाइस। और सबसे पहले अब इसको देखते हैं, ये क्या बनेगा मेरे पास ना, ये मेरे को आ गया, आईडी एंड कॉलम्स आ गए, ये मेरे को ये क्लास आ गया 1, आईडी आ गया 3। सो बेसिकली आईडी क्या है मेरा, टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स है, मार्क्स मेरा क्या है, ये एवरेज स्टूडेंट्स आ गया, राइट। अब ये देखो, अब यहाँ पे डिस्टॉर्टेड है ये, करेक्ट। सो दिस इज माई इंडेक्स, सो क्लास इज माई इंडेक्स हियर, राइट, एंड आईडी एंड मार्क्स आर माई कॉलम। सो आई नीड टू रीसेट माई इंडेक्स फर्स्ट, सो आई नीड टू रीसेट माई इंडेक्स। सो ये क्या शो करेगा, ये यहाँ पर आ गया। अब ये क्लास विल इज वन ऑफ माई कॉलम्स हियर, राइट। सो नाउ क्लास इज माई कॉलम्स हियर, दिस रीसेट इंडेक्स इज सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम। सो नाउ ऑन दिस आई वांट अ रीनेम, राइट। सो रीनेम हम क्या कर सकते हैं, रीनेम में डाल देते हैं कॉलम्स इक्वल टू मेरे को क्या चाहिए, आईडी चाहिए। आईडी को मुझे रिप्लेस कर देना है किससे, टोटल स्टूडेंट से, एंड देन मेरे को क्या करना है, आई वांट मार्क्स टू बी रिप्लेस्ड विथ एवरेज मार्क्स। कोई डाउट है इसमें किसी को भी, ये तो सिंपल सही है ना, ठीक है, ये बन गया। अभी नाउ आई हैव अ डेटा फ्रेम इन विच आई हैव 3 कॉलम्स, क्लास, टोटल स्टूडेंट्स एंड एवरेज मार्क्स। एग्जैक्टली दिस व्हाट आई वांटेड, राइट। बट टू बी नोटिस्ड हियर, आई वांट इन फॉर्म ऑफ अ लिस्ट, एंड देन लिस्ट के अंदर डिक्शनरीज है। ये तो मेरा डेटा फ्रेम है, दिस नॉट माई आउटपुट, राइट। अब हम इस डेटा फ्रेम को डिक्शनरी में कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। So I have again a very good function here. So basically we have toDict, ठीक है। पहले toDict रन करके देखने क्या आता है। अभी क्या आया, सो मेरे पास इंडिविजुअल ये एलिमेंट्स जैसे आ गए, राइट। ये तो ये अरेज ऑफ एलिमेंट्स जैसा आ गया मेरे पास, करेक्ट। अब इस toDict के अंदर ना मेरे पास एक इसमें फंक्शन होता है ओरिएंट करके, ठीक है। आई मीन बेसिकली आई वांट दीज इज इंडिविजुअल रिकॉर्ड्स, राइट। सो आई कैन पास से रिकॉर्ड्स और सिंपल आर भी पास करेंगे तो रन हो जाएगा ये। Cool, this is what we wanted. अरे ये क्या हो गया यार, shit, क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गया ये। अच्छा, df के अंदर वैसे पहले मैं सेव कर लेता हूँ, मैं इसको df2 कर लेता हूँ, मैं इसको सेव कर देता हूँ एंड देन कर देता हूँ इसको। Cool, ठीक है, कोई इशू गाइस। सेम चीज़ मैंने करा इसको पैंडा से भी, एक लाइन में हो गया ये। जितना लंबा चौड़ा कोड लिखा था हमने, वेरी बिग कोड, यहाँ पे कहाँ गया यार ये, हमने यहाँ पे मल्टीपल लूप्स लगाए, वी रैन इनटू मल्टीपल लूप्स एंड देन वी डिड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, राइट। सो we were able to solve the same thing in a single line of code. You can see this, just a single line of code. इसमें सब काम हो गया मेरा, है ना। So again guys, I'm still telling you, do not डू नॉट ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट विथ फंक्शंस. फंक्शन से हमेशा ईजी है ना. आप अगर ईजी सीख लोगे तो डिफिकल्ट कभी नहीं कर पाओगे, बट अगर डिफिकल्ट सीख लोगे तो ईजी कभी भी कर लोगे. यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग माई पॉइंट? सो when you are in the learning phase, right, always try to solve it with the basic concept. जो हमने सिंपल फॉर लूप में इफ एल्स लगा के चेक्स लगा के कैसे कर सकते हैं, इसको इंडेक्सिंग कैसे करेंगे, चेक्स कैसे लगाएंगे, है ना. अगर आपने ये लॉजिक को समझ लिया ना, देन आपके लिए पैंडास क्या है यार, तो सिंपल फंक्शन है, ये तो बनेगा ही बनेगा, ये तो सॉल्व होगा ही होगा, है ना. बट अगर आप अपनी नॉलेज को इस पे बेस कर लोगे, पैंडास के ऊपर बेस, आई मीन इस पे अगर बेस कर लोगे, तो आप कभी वैसे ऐसे समझ ही नहीं पाओगे कोड को. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू फ्रेम अप द क्वेश्चंस. इज माय पॉइंट क्लियर गाइस? एनी क्वेश्चंस इन दिस? And am I making sense, or am I going too vague for you guys? Yeah, Tanushree, thank you so much. I just saw your comment. So df.group by is equal to class, right? And then marks ka mean. Yeah, I mean, अगर आप marks के mean को करोगे, and then you will get just the marks का mean, right? But I wanted in this form. So in the list of a dictionary, so I mean, you have 3 elements there: class, total students, and average marks. So I just tried to frame it likewise, है ना? Cool guys, any questions? I'm all ears, and please do let me know if you are able to understand this. I hope you are able to understand this, right? Any questions? Do let me know guys. I'm still waiting for your questions. Or was it too difficult for you to understand? I believe that we used very simple concepts here, right? Very simple concepts. Indexing भी simple करा है यार, कुछ logic simple plus minus 1 करा है ना, सिंपल लॉजिक्स लगाए हैं मैंने. सो एनी इश्यूज गाइज, एनी इश्यूज एनीवेयर, सो आई ट्राइड टू सॉल्व इट इन बोथ द वेज यूजिंग द सिंपल मैथमेटिकल लॉजिक्स, एंड द सेकंड इज यूजिंग द फंक्शंस व्हिच वी हैव. द pandas का फंक्शन, pandas आपको ने बताया ना, इट्स अ वेरी यूजर फ्रेंडली फंक्शंस, इट्स वेरी हेल्पफुल बिकॉज इफ यू नो द कॉन्सेप्ट्स, राइट, अगर आपको पता होगा कि आपको ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, देन यू विल फाइंड आउट द राइट फंक्शन इन pandas, right? It will become easy for you in that sense. But if you just blindly go towards कि मुझे करके दे दो types in pandas, it will never work, right? So first you have to think. If you are able to think it like this, right, then you can always incorporate pandas functions, right? But to think it like that, you have to understand to how to solve in the very basic way, the simple mathematical way, है ना? Cool, thank you so much Dilip, thank you Tanushree, thank you Sandeep for confirming, and I hope you guys liked it, so and hope you guys learned it today, right? Again, I'm all open for feedbacks. If I'm going too fast, too deep, too technical, do let me know. I'll still try to modify my pace. I'll still try to modify the content. But I believe this is not too much engrossed. I believe this is the time now you should be moving towards some of the good questions, right? So I'm just slightly trying to increase the difficulty levels, right, so that you can still understand what we're trying to do. I hope this is making sense, guys, right? Any questions, any feedback, and I'm all ears. So I'm going to give you again 1 more minute. If you have anything, any last moment questions, do let me know. Or else if you are good, so then we can close for the day. So we're going to meet again tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. Again, I'm going to come with some good questions. So we're going to solve some good question again. See, again, I'm not rushing, guys. I can still take 2-3 questions in a day. It's okay for me. But again, it will not help you at the end, right? It's okay. I believe that if it's okay if you go slow. I mean, it's okay if you are able to grasp the one question alone. It's more than sufficient for you. Do not need. You're not supposed to rush into things, right? If you rush into things, you'll never understand it. So, I mean, that's how I have taken it. But again, any suggestions, any feedback, I'm all ears, right? So we can modify the content accordingly. Great guys, thank you so much for interacting today. Thank you so much for whoever were part of the chat: Tanushree, Pranav, Megha, Abhishek, Sandeep, Dilip. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope Megha, you were able to understand today, right? So again, if you feel that you were you were overwhelmed with the things which were discussed today, I would request you to try to cover up with the content of the playlist which we have, right? So try to cover it as quickly as possible, right? And then you'll be able to participate in the discussions which we have. So participate in the codings which we generally do on class, right? So that is my advice, right? But again, it's up to you, howsoever you want to learn. Great guys, thank you so much, and thank you so much for being so active. I'm gonna give you your weekend, your evening back, right? So have a good dinner and stay safe. See you tomorrow 7 p.m. at the same time with some new questions. Great. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.